Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to December 6th, 2024, deep in the heart of boondocking land in Quartzsite, Arizona. I'm in LTVA South, La Posa, aka La Posa South. And we're going to first talk about the weather. We're going to talk about the fact that the Weather Service says it's 61 degrees. It's 47 here. That's a pretty big difference. I've seen 3 or 4 degree difference, but never that much. But I'm telling you, my thing's pretty accurate there. My outdoor temperature is 47, 10% humidity. It's been cool. I've been running my propane ventless heater. For those of you that just go crazy about all the moisture, you're going to ruin your rig. The indoor humidity is 13%. So just these comments that, condensation on your windows and stuff, that happens in higher humidity environments. I know this. I ran my propane heaters in Virginia in the winter. And yes, I woke up and everything, all the inside of the windows were covered with water. I had to make sure I vented the whole place out or else would have problems with mold. I had water damage. I mean, all kinds of awful things can happen because the combustion of propane produces a lot of moisture. But if you're in a really dry place like the desert, it doesn't matter. Okay, so before I get started today, there's going to be a change. There's going to be a change because I haven't been 100% myself in these videos, and I just realized it yesterday. I'm so focused on keeping this a positive space that when things happen, like comments really annoy me, I hold back because I don't want you to think I get upset. I don't want you to think I get angry. Well, guess what? I do. And I'm not going to say nasty things about anybody, but I'm going to be more outspoken about what I think. And that's it. I'm just going to be more genuine. That may drive some people away. I understand that. But I always think being genuine and authentic is the way to go. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to think about what I say before I say it, because we're all capable of saying stupid stuff, right? When we're upset. Usually I have time. I most of these comments I've seen before this, because I don't know if you notice, if you do, you get like a like and a love. Everybody gets a like and a love, usually, because the love thing, and it's not that I just love every comment, it removes it from the list of things that I haven't responded to. So I need to have a fresh list of you haven't responded to this. If I just like it, it still says you haven't responded. If I type a response, then it's responded to, or if I hit the like and the love, it shows responded to. So that's the story there. And this morning we have, you know what I didn't get the upload started for the positive news video. Let me do that. Let me just get the upload going. And it's on cyborg cockroaches. Yeah, you heard me right. You got to see that one. And if I go into, I have two videos queued up, one for today, and the today one is morning in the LTVA desert. I think you'll like that one. It's only about a 13-minute one, and I'm going to release that right now. And that's what this one looks like with me and Dottie walking. That's today. And tomorrow I got a video that quite a few people have requested. There are two well-known camps in La Posa South where it's a built-in community. Everyone's welcome. For those people that are coming out here, I don't know anybody. I'm nervous. I don't want to camp alone, but then again, I don't know anybody. What do I do? I said, well, there are two camps out here. There's Q camp on one side of the LTVA, and the other side is the spot. So I took the truck. I went from the start of the LTVA, showed you how to get first to Q camp, talked to a guy there about it, and he gave quite a bit of information. Then I went to the spot on the other side and talked to Randy, the mobile traveler there, who started that camp years and years ago, and he talked about that. Now, let me say this. There's a lot of controversy surrounding Randy and the spot online. People saying nasty things. Zero tolerance on the channel for, if you want to start spreading rumors about Randy the mobile traveler or the spot, go be elsewhere to do that, not here. You know, the same goes for Nomadic Fanatic. You know, I've had him on the channel, and I got flamed by comments. Virtually every popular YouTuber, and I don't put myself among that. I'm small time compared to guys like Nomadic Fanatic. He's, you know, 100 times my size. You gather haters and people that just don't like it. Like any, you know, he's become a public figure, and he's got a group of people that just can't stand him. Did you know that there are people that have big channels, that people create channels of their own for the sole purpose of criticizing and denigrating the target channel? Honestly. And it's there are channels that and I'm not going to even dignify the channel that I'm thinking about with naming it, but there's a channel that routinely targets particular large YouTubers and has content every day where they pull out clips and they denigrate, insult, and criticize, and they get views and they make money doing that. And that channel, I've even been mentioned as a pretty terrible person. So I realize that's only going to increase with the amount of time that I'm on here, and I'm going to continue to deal with it by if you have nasty comments to make about anybody, it's just, you know, it's just going to get hidden from the channel. It's one click. It's easy peasy. I've looked for certain YouTube, actually, this is really neat. YouTube allows you to enter certain keywords, and if someone puts that particular keyword in a comment, it gets automatically held for me, and no one ever sees it. But mostly they slip through, and you can see I'm on top of the comments, and if I see one I don't like, it'll be out there public for minutes before it's invisible to everyone except the person commenting. And I always imagine these really nasty people adding to the comment, getting mad that I'm not responding to them, not realizing I don't see the comment, and no one but them sees the comment. That's a little bit of justice. So anyway, I have the spot is closer to me. I've spent more time there than the Q camp, and I have very good friends that stay there. Right? They're good people. That I know. All the rumors and stuff, I have zero firsthand knowledge of it. If you do and you have strong feelings, that's great. Please, not here. There are plenty other places to go with that. So the first comment today is from Dottie Travels. That's a little unusual too. This is Tote and Macerator Complete Guide A to Z. There is a pinned comment from the author, me. I neglected to remove my gloves while driving, resulting in contamination of my truck. All caps, very poor example I set. Please practice safe contamination processes. It is best to use disposable medical gloves. And I also put that in the description. So I hope that's sufficient. And we're going to put together my stupid mistake of driving in that video with my contaminated black tank gloves. Philip Williams on Your Solar Store in Quartzsite. I really enjoyed doing this video, interviewing Gus, the owner of Solar Bills in Quartzsite. It's actually not Solar Bills, it's Solar Bill. And Bill isn't there anymore. Gus bought it from Bill 4 years ago. One of the most charming things, I got him to say it again this year when I asked him last year, so why didn't you change the name to Solar Gus? And he said, are you kidding me? It's Solar Bill. It's been around for everybody. Everybody knows it. I'll change my name here. He points to his name tag. I'll become Billy Bob before I change the name of it. It's very funny. Anyway, Philip says, oh, the Dollar General there is an older lady who cashiers. I bought dog food earlier in the day. She asked about my dog and such. Went back several hours later to grab snack food, and she remembered me. Not only that she saw coupons on the items I was buying, I didn't. She's like, oh, man, we should use them now. You might lose them in the desert. She read me well. Because little piece of paper I don't keep track of very well, but so nice she was. Me neither. I don't like any kind of paper. I just, like, if I can take a picture of it with my phone and throw away the paper, that's what I do. I'm with you, Phil. I'm with you. California. Very on the same video, very good video. That man at the solar place was so helpful and knowledgeable. Thanks, Rob. P.S. I love Dottie's perky ears. She makes me smile. Oh God, that reminds me. I deleted a comment where some guy says, you're not affectionate with your dog. It's just a prop for your channel. You don't care about that dog. You never touch it. I'm like, did you hear that, Dottie? I have many faults. Rob here, many faults. None of those faults come close to the affection I show for my dog and how much I love Dottie. That's beyond ridiculous. If you're going to fault me, call me out on something that that's true. Desert Deb. Hey, Desert Deb. Desert Deb. Met her years ago. Wonderful lady. She missing man found out after 25 years. That was yesterday's positive news video. She gave a couple of big giant hearts in the comment. This was amazing. You know, this woman had a brother who was totally nonverbal from like birth. He wasn't able to say who he was or where he was from. He disappeared 25 years ago in Southern California, and they desperately tried to find their brother and couldn't find him. And suddenly, he's in the hospital, in one of the LA hospitals, and a news team decides to do a search for the family, and they found them. 25 years without your brother. Okay. TJ Hausman. Great information. That's on the solar one. And another solar comment from Hiker97. Hey, Rob, any idea how many rigs are in the LTVA in December, January? How many in the free BLM areas? Does the BLM make statistics public? And I wrote on this when I said, I've not seen a public count. They report permit sales annually. And on an annual basis, but like it's a year down the road before you see that annual report, number of permits sold, and it doesn't even break it down. There's no breaking it down, right? By LTVA area, because they're all good at all areas, so it's one kind of permit no matter where you buy it. So it gives you permanent sales for the year for here and down in Yuma and California. It's all the same, right? This year anyway it is. So that doesn't tell you, even in retrospect, like how many people are in Quartzsite today in the LTVAs. I think they report on the free permits, but here's how it works in the free BLM land. There's camp hosts, and they have you fill out a permit. They're free, right? And you put the permit. It's like those old little pads where you fill out a form and it makes 3 copies. I forget what the paper's called. It's been so long. Anyway, I've lost my train of thought there for a minute, which I'm going to address again in a recent comment. there's really no way to know. People speculate. YouTube, and I've done it too. It seems much busier this time, the same time last year. The one comparison I have that I haven't had the energy to do is I have a couple of videos driving the route here to camp, almost the same day year to year. And I was thinking about getting that, re-downloading that old video and then putting them side by side to see kind of, does it look busier? It's a lot of effort for probably, it wouldn't be very accurate. How wonderful she could identify her brother. That was on, obviously, the one I was just talking about. On Solar, Nosh says, hey, Dottie, Rob, Dottie, and George, great interview. I feel like when I go to the queue, I will be able to recognize the stores there. Thanks to you. Well, you're welcome, Nosh. RV Life. The Missing Man, it's a truly great way to start the day. Love these short, uplifting stories. You know, RV Life, it's the reason I got a real selfish reason for doing daily positive stories, and that was positive. In the title, it shows a number, and this number is, the whole title is Missing Man Found After 25 Years. # number, right? Number 269 positive news. That means it's the 269th consecutive day, consecutive positive news story. So for 269 days, I've done one of these stories every day, and I'm shocked if they get 100 views, which is nothing. I'll make 8 cents on 100 views. If I'm lucky, 7 or 8 cents. So it's financially, it's not worth it. It never attracts more viewers. The only ones that ever view them are subscribers that get a notification when they go on. Even so, that's a very small. So why do I do it? For me, it's exactly what you said. It's truly a great way to start the day. The first thing I do after I go through my morning routine with washing and pills and brushing my teeth and everything is I sit down here and I decide, what's the positive news story going to be today? I play producer. And then I absorb the positive news, and then I tell you about it, and I upload it. And that's pretty cool. And it gives me a positive attitude. Even if I wake up on the wrong side of the bed, we all have, maybe a little grumpy. You can't do, well, I say you can't. I can't see, pet peeve. When people say, you know, or you can, it's not you. When I do it, I feel great. Every single morning I start the morning. It may not last forever, may last 5 minutes. I don't care. I start my day on a positive note because I go and I find a positive news story. Now, there are people, there's a woman who doesn't want me to name her, but she's a frequent commenter, so you can try to guess who it is. She sends me one almost every day, and I would say the vast majority of the positive news stories are from her. And I got a gentleman that sent me an email that gave me, I think, 3 or 4, which I haven't been through yet, but trust me, if that's you, it's in my inbox. It's not going anywhere. I would have started using them today, but I kept forgetting to use the one I did today on the cyborg cockroach, which is amazing. Just, it tickled me. So that's why I do it. It's selfish. And those of you that enjoy it too, like RV Life, you get to have the same experience, selfish experience that I have. Billy on Quartzsite Comments, smiley face. Billy says, I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to be mean. I have no idea which comment you're talking about. I have 0 doubts that you were trying to be mean. I don't remember what it was. I think if I remember, he had one of the comments about the gloves and things, but it wasn't a mean one at all. It was actually a light one, a gentle one. On Thomas, on the solar source, saw the code again, getting close now. That's kind of a running joke. People think they can see the code I put in my keyless entry in my truck. You can't see it. You see my hand doing this, you don't know what numbers I'm pushing. So I always say to people, if you're so concerned that I gave away my truck code, what's my truck code? Put it out here. If you get it right, I'll change it on the truck. It's easy to do, and no one's ever come close to getting it right. So I had a short. What is this little guy? My outdoor camera motion in the night got a little tiny critter running by. I thought maybe it was a kit fox. I wasn't sure, but it's kind of fun to put it out there. People like to look and guess. So we got Durango Fox. Kevin G says kit fox. Bob G says fox. And then then there was a short of adopted another pet and Dottie is not happy. That was clickbait on a short. It was definitely clickbait, but it was tongue-in-cheek clickbait because the new pet that I show a shot of Dottie looking kind of dejected and bummed and indifferent, and I'm going on about how disappointed I am in Dottie that she got a new brother and doesn't have a good attitude about it. Then I pan the camera to show the new brother, and it's a blow up Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer in front of my grave with a lighted nose. Then I saw George reacting, and George was even less impressed. And Steve Wood says, ha ha ha. And Chuck Brewington on Quartzsite Comments, new sub here, enjoying the channel, safe travels. Well, thank you, Chuck. And Renee Slater says, fox. M. Campbell says, kit fox, full-grown adults are tiny. George is likely bigger. Yeah, George is bigger than this guy. It looks like, and someone responds to that. Virginia Hark says it looks like coyotes. I'm going to go with M. Campbell. She sounds awful certain. Harold Lee Dye, you did a darn good vid on this subject. That was heating my RV boondocking at Quartzsite. And this is a running joke because it was so ridiculously high views that I'd like to update you on where the views are currently. Let's see, sort by most views. By the way, the graphic content RV Class A destroyed, the one that was my only viral video ever a couple years ago that put me over the top in stats for becoming monetized. And it's just, I happen to be on the scene of a terrible RV crash, and I filmed out of the car driving by the aftermath, found the story about it, and put some things in there that maybe can prevent that disaster for other people. And it was 2 minutes and 28 seconds long. And it also has the bonus of the Mongols motorcycle gang, swarming around me and passing me on Interstate 10. 1.4 million views. So this one, the heating my RV boondocking, continues to get views. We are not as of right now, 27,345 views. And for me, that's mind blowing. That's a guy. This is a guy that, hey, if I got 1,000 views, and if I'm not Quartzsite and I'm on my regular thing like in Pahrump or New Mexico and I'm getting 500 views, I'm like, that's okay. I'm good. I'm just like, how come this one only got 200 views? But in Quartzsite, I'm like, if it's less than 1,000, something went wrong, and it averages right now around 1,500 to 2,000, but 27,000. Holy mackerel. And then there's a couple other ones that didn't do as well, but they did pretty well. New to Quartzsite desert camping, critical information, and it's just about, when you come out here, what washes are and the temptation to drive your rig through them and how it can be disaster. Got 19,000 views. And then when I first got here, it took me 2 days to set up my camp, and I just did a 5-minute tour of the camp and said what everything was. I mean, I don't mean I was like, this is a chair, this is a rug. I mean, I talked about the equipment I had set out, why I had it set out the certain way. 17,000 views. And this one I did over a year ago, 10 things to know before you go to Quartzsite, 15,000 views. Here's one. Agonal breathing demonstrated, 13,000 views. And you're going to say what? What do you mean agonal breathing demonstrated? That's not an RV video. That was a video I did when I was the EMS chief in Bonner County, Idaho, 11 years ago. Agonal breathing is something that is done by a human body when it's about to die. It's a irregular breathing pattern that sounds a particular way, and when you have a patient with agonal breathing, that's a sign that this person's about to go into cardiac arrest, and you need to get ready to work a code. And I was doing a training video for my staff and for the 911 dispatchers, because you can hear, like in the background, often you can hear that breathing. Someone's calling about my loved one is in trouble, and you can hear the loved one breathing in the background. So it was for an audience of less than 50 people. And I had a YouTube channel back then, but I wasn't doing it for public views or anything. I had a video business where I was doing weddings and funerals and local TV, local commercials for businesses, and the training videos. And it blew up, and it was 11 years ago, and it's got 13,000 views. Just as a joke, just see if there's anything in the last 48 hours on it. That would be funny. Yeah, it's had 3 views in the last 48 hours. And I put it up 11 years ago. Did I get off the track, do you think? Let's see. That was Harold Lee Dye was saying you did a damn good job on the video. And I took that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 word comment, and what did I go off for 5 minutes? Who is this little guy? Robert Baylor says, my take, this is a small coyote doing the rounds. Another opinion. Could be right. Robert Ballard. Hi, Rob. This is This is your best infomercial yet. You guys answered all my questions regarding configuring a solar battery system capable of powering almost all your needs. Not a simple system that anyone can take on without professional support. Keep them coming. And I thought it was important to point out, my local business interviews and tours are not infomercials. I do them for no discounts, no special treatment, no compensation. I do them because it interests me. And I don't think he meant to imply I was paid for this. I think he meant infomercial as information on a local business. I'm sure that's what he meant, Rob. But I wanted to clarify that I do a lot of businesses in Quartzsite, just certainly every single one that I do business with at any point that will gracefully allow me to do the recording. And it's just, I do videos on things that interest me. I don't do videos because someone pays me. And I don't go to places and do things to do a video. If you know, like, I even have friends that say, hey, you should go out to such and such a place and do a video. And I'm like, no. If you say to me, hey, Rob, you should go to such and such a place because you think it would be real, I think you'd think it was really cool. They have my attention. I may go, but I won't go someplace to do a video. No. Wheeler on Wheels, interested in what job you do that can be done on one long day a week. Nice to keep the other days free. Well, you know, because I say I do one day a week doesn't mean I'm doing a full-time job in one day. Of course I'm not. It's a very part-time job. It's a small job. I collect Social Security. There's a $21,000 limit to my earnings. So that's why I only work one day. I want to keep under the earnings limit. I'm a counselor, but there are tons of part-time jobs that you can do easily. You can do on the road. If you go to Creativity RV, she's a YouTube channel, an RVer YouTube channel, and she publishes a ebook on Amazon that she updates every year, and it's on job opportunities. And I've gone through that. I've bought the book. It's very inexpensive. You can do it on Kindle. and I found it to be very valid, accurate information. So I would suggest that her name's Robin. Oh, this is going to bother me if I can't find it. Let me see if I can find. I'm going to go into my orders and I'm going to type in work. Boy, that pulls up work. How about Kindle? Work Kindle. All right, I found it. It is Work from Home While You Roam by Robin Barrett. And there it is right there. Work from Home While You Roam with Robin Barrett. And I'm sorry if that's backwards. But it is, how much does it cost? Because I already bought it. And because I already bought it, it doesn't really show. Oh, I can view my order. It'll tell me $2.99, $2.99. If you can't afford, if you need a job on the road, but you can't afford $2.99, if you see me in town, tell me. I'll give you the $2.99. Okay, thank you, Wheeler. That was Wheeler on Wheels. Robert Ballard. He, for a minute I thought the trash inspector was looking at you as a person of interest. Yikes! Yeah, I was in part of the video. I was dumping my trash, and at one of the dumpsters, and it's right across from the black and gray water dump station. And when people pull up, the BLM person with the vest on comes in over and checks make sure you have a tag on to dump trash. But they have this person has sort of a body language and demeanor that's accusatory as they're coming at you with a very sour, serious expression on their face, like I'm going to bust you. And they got really close to the front of my truck and they saw the tag and then went on to the next person. So it really looked like they were coming after me. It's kind of funny. Robert Ballard says, this is so cool. Sometimes a really big blessing comes along to restore your faith you felt was long lost. That was the man found after 25 years. Robert Ballard, again, third comment. I completely admit I was very curious how you were keeping your tank levels under control and not moving the rig. I guess we should have more faith in your creative genius to have a good solution. At no time did Dottie and George have to supervise your operation. He also commented on the shop where kindness is the currency, and we could use more shops like this, less emphasis on money and more what good service can I do to earn it. And Ken on solar, good information for the solar. You need to get Gus a t-shirt that says Solar Bills Gus. He would trip about it. I bet he would. Quartzsite Comments. Thanks for sharing. That's from Tom Dale. Philip, again, on Quartzsite Comments. I didn't notice the glove thing, but hey, it's okay. Today I did trash, filled water, coyote fresh meal. Found out the gallon jugs of water from the store can be easily filled without a hose at the LTVA. My dog is the test subject for drinking the water. Coyote fresh was very good. Lunch, I selected chicken tenders, mac and cheese. Mac and cheese, it says read more. Plus got a small container of a couple of salads. All good. I think Philip's liking the new Dollar General Market. Or maybe it was the Dollar... Phil, was it Dollar Market you were in or Dollar General? I know the new DG Market, they have salads. Dwayne, after watching your comments on the video today, I did notice the gloves on your steering wheel. I thought, no, don't comment. If we ever meet in person, would you be okay with just a fist bump? And please don't ask me to drive your truck. Just kidding, of course. You taught people more than you know. Have a good one. I have little mixed emotions about a little of that, but I'm going to get to it, I think, after another comment up here. Ken Gray says, good shopping. I think he's talking about the solar video. And the game camera, Ken says, cute fox. Don Collin Creative, thanks for taking the time to identify the mount. I ordered it, thanks. It was in a comments video, and he said, what kind of mount do you have in your truck for your cell phone? You can see it in a lot of shots. It's got a suction cup that puts on the inside of the windshield. It's where my phone goes. And in that comment, I had responded to it with an Amazon link and said, I've been through a ton of these car phone mounts, and this one that I bought a year and a month ago has been the best by far. So he went ahead and ordered that. Gray Wolf on the solar. Nice review. Be stopping by Bill sometime in January. Virginia Hankey. Now I know how that drunk reindeer became Dottie's brother. That's funny. Great interview at Solar Bills. This is from Reggie Keller. Was wondering, though, if you knew, Rob, what the dump station hours are for dumping your tanks. Thanks for sharing. I think, and when I say I think, that doesn't mean I know. I think the water shuts off at 6 p.m., so I assume the same applies to the dump station. If anyone on here knows for sure the La Posa South dump station hours, please post them here on any video, and I'll read it tomorrow. D has a smiley, laughy face for adopted mother, another pet, and Dottie's not happy. I'm glad you like that. So Fred says, there's no closed captions buttons on your YouTube. Is it just YouTube cutting closed captions off on a lot of these broadcasts? I said, Freddie, apparently it takes some time to process automatic captions, and I just checked on this video and it shows still processing. So I go into the video edit and I look up closed captions and it was showing still processing. And he responds to this, I don't have much confidence in YouTube. They censor so much information. I hope Elon Musk buys you too and makes it a truly free speech platform. I watch your videos as each new ones are posted. I think my wife and I would visit Quartzsite because she's Vietnamese and likes it. Peaceful out in the country without a lot of human beings around. You're helping me equip my RV trailer. Probably have my solar upgraded in Quartzsite in the place you had your video today. Well, that's nice. I'm a little baffled by the free speech and Elon Musk stuff. It's still processing. You understand that it's still just the processing it needs to do a transcript of what I said and put out the closed captioning. It doesn't happen as soon as and I didn't know this, but I know now. It doesn't happen the second it shows complete and you upload it. It takes a little while. It's nothing to do with censoring. It has to do with computer processing time to do something that's fairly complex to do. I'm a little baffled by that, but that's okay. I can be baffled. Naj, Baby Fox. Naj, how wonderful for both of them. That's the guy that found, the woman that found her brother. Judy said, one of our dog park stops, our first year nomad, was in Doyle. It's just a wide spot. My bonus grandson's sister disappeared in 2018 at 16. Prayer, she's also found too. I had a cousin that disappeared, I think, in the late 60s or early 70s, and he was never found. They never figured out what happened to him. It's my father's brother's son. The video you did was awesome with the wastewater disposal. That was from B. Schwinn. Thank you. Ken says, garden gloves. I didn't even know you made a mistake. Thanks for coming forward with it. And he says, for the macerator, I think of it as a garbage disposal for black water. Yeah, kind of. Mr. Organic, thanks for the video. It's nice to know there are knowledgeable solar people out there in Quartzsite. It makes it a lot easier to get solar while boondocking with solar bills in the immediate area. Philip says, yep, definitely a fox. And Philip says, trail cam with Dottie. I enjoy like all this. One Dandelion Time says, yeah, I just saw one like that when I was in Q. Darn adorable looking. Help me retire soon. He says, I have a 60 amp charge controller, a 48 volt, 5120 watt hour chins, 51.2 volt battery, and 100 watt 16 BBB. I don't know what 16 BBB is. 100 watt panel so far. I have a 20 amp charger I can plug into an electric or generator and put 1105 watts per hour back into my battery. I have a 48 volt 2500 watt power inverter. It was the first setup I've ever had. I have 6 gauge wires to my battery inverter with a 60 amp breaker. I have 60 amp breaker for my charge controller to my battery, and a 30 amp breaker, solar panels to charge controller. Wow, a lot of stuff. Good for you. And he has another quote comment. Great information. If I ever need a cable or something for my solar, I know where I can go. Great information. Fred Fegan says, stuff happens and we're all human. I will continue to watch you because I knew you forgot to take your gloves off instead of judging you. That's what I'm looking for. Thank you. Thank you, Fred. That's all I'm looking for. A bus and a pyre. What is the 11-foot sticker on your windshield for? Funny you should ask. I have a little sticker that says 11 feet. That is the height of my rig when I'm towing my trailer. So if I suddenly, without warning, come across like a bridge that has a clearance, I don't have to think, is it the height? So I had a rig that was a different height. This is a different height. And I measured this myself. The thing that was at the most high, and it was a little under 11 feet. Any 11-foot clearance or greater I'm good with. But in a moment of panic when I'm coming up on a bridge, I don't want to have to rely on my memory. So that's why it's up there. Rob Hebb says, Gus seems like a straight up guy. Thanks for introducing him to your viewers. I'm a little worried about you having so many long pauses between words. You might need to slow down. Laugh out loud. Just kidding. Okay. Rob Hebb's good guy. Lots of great intentions. Great comments. Rob, I love your comments. I think you're great. But I need to say something about the humor here. And I can't do it without it maybe seeming like I'm picking on you. But there's a thing that I learned about after becoming a therapist and becoming, for a while, I was a marriage counselor. And that is the concept of hostile humor. And the definition of hostile humor is humor that is derived from missteps or misfortunes of others. And you lightheartedly make fun of someone or make fun of how someone looks or how they behave. And it comes in, and there's a punchline, and there's it often seems very innocent. And in my training as a marriage counselor, was pointed out, you'll often see couples that lightheartedly dig at each other. And that's often a sign of beneath that is an unhealthy relationship. So it's proven over and over again, the hostile humor harms marriage relationships. And also the person that mentored me through this process was a pretty high level consultant, psychological consultant for big companies. And one of the most common things that she encountered as a problem in an organization is a hostile humor environment that usually starts at high levels. There was a story about a nuclear power plant that had terrible safety records, and there was organization problems. And she went into that organization and discovered the hostile humor environment and brought it to the attention of the CEO, who had a healthy enough ego to be able to see, hey, there's maybe something here. And they addressed that and sort of reversed that culture. And a year later, they were in the country that they were the number one in safety. So went from almost last to number one in 1 year, and she attributes that to the correction of that hostile humor. And I have to remind myself often to refrain from using hostile humors. I'll be sitting around with my camp friends here, and I just did it the other day. One of my campmates has trouble sleeping and trouble getting going before a certain time in the morning. And we were out there making maybe a little bit of noise, and she came out earlier than expected. And I can't remember what I said, but I kidded her about, gee, it's early for you, isn't it? Something like that. That's hostile humor. And she got angry. And I was startled by it, and I immediately said, you're right. I had no business saying that, and it's really not funny, and I won't do it again. And I realized, Rob, that's an example of hostile humor. In the moment, you think something seems funny, but you need to remember, and when I say I'm talking to myself, me, I need to remember that if I think something is funny, before I say it, is it at the expense of anyone? Because here's the insidious thing about hostile humor. Your target will often laugh, and you'll think they think it's funny too. But often inside, they don't think it's funny, right? And that's kind of what happened here. I'm a little worried about having to take so many long pauses. I'm about to turn 65, and it does bother me that I can't recall things like this. I can't recall short-term memory things and even some long-term memory things, and it causes me in video, because I don't do editing. I leave the pauses in there where I'm trying to think of someone's name that I know well. And for those of you that are with me in this stage of life, you understand how frightening that can be. Is it normal aging? Is it Alzheimer's? How is this? What do I compare it to? How bad is this? And it's kind of one of the jarring things about growing older. So when someone teases you about it, it's hard to see the humor in it. So that's, Rob, I know you mean well, and I'm sorry it was you that had this comment, but I resolved today to start to react more honestly. But I will say that I think your intentions were great, but it is a really pretty classic example of hostile humor, and I'm sure you weren't. Anyway, one, you're probably not aware that it would have sort of a little bit of a hurtful impact on me, and you may think that that's not justified. I don't know, but that's just and that happens to be the last comment for today. Well, maybe not. Let's not leave it at that. Let's reload and see if there's another one out there. And there is. There's another one. RV Adventure Travel says, we use Solar Build and install our solar setup on our new rig. We highly recommend them. That's great to hear. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. We're almost at the 50-minute mark here. And I don't know if you can hear that snoring that you may hear in the background. I don't know how sensitive the microphone is. You might think is Dottie. It's not. It's George down there. George is snoring. George snores much more than Dottie does. So we're going to wrap this up, upload it, release everything, and take Dottie out for a walk and start our Friday work day that begins in a little less than an hour and a half and goes for a good amount today. Going to be working hard today. But I will see you tomorrow morning. Take care.